Jade Kwon made 3 mistakes. First, falling in love with Jin-woo Park, heir to Korea's most dangerous crime family. Second, thinking she could escape him by disappearing for 3 years. Third, believing the twins growing inside her were a secret only she knew. At 8 p.m. on a Tuesday, she'd discover that every choice she'd made, every city she'd fled to, every friend she'd trusted, every plan she'd formed had been part of his game all along. And the price of that truth? Her freedom, her children, and possibly her life. Before we begin, make sure to hit that subscribe button because you won't find stories like this anywhere else. Stay tuned for more unexpected twists and gripping drama. You won't want to miss what's coming next. The coffee shop smelled like burnt vanilla and regret. Jade's hands trembled around the ceramic mug. 3 years. She'd spent 3 years building a life where Jin-woo couldn't find her. New city, new name, new everything. But here he sat across from her, wearing that same charcoal suit that made him look like he owned the world. Because he did. You look different, Jin-woo said, his voice cutting through the noise of clinking cups and mindless chatter. She didn't respond. What could she say? That running had aged her? That fear had carved lines into her face no makeup could hide? Your hair's longer. His eyes traced her features like he was memorizing her all over again. You're thinner. Jade tightened her grip on the mug. Why are you here? You know why. No. She didn't want to know. Couldn't afford to know. Jin-woo leaned forward, elbows on the table. Did you really think you could disappear? That I wouldn't find you? Her throat closed. Every breath felt like swallowing glass. I left for a reason, she whispered. And I let you leave for a reason. His jaw tightened. But that time is over. The words hit her like a slap. Let her leave. As if she'd ever had a choice. As if the night she ran bloodied, terrified, clutching nothing but a stolen passport, had been some mutual agreement. You don't own me anymore, Jade said, forcing steel into her voice. Jin-woo's lips curved into something that wasn't quite a smile. Is that what you tell yourself at night? She wanted to throw the coffee in his face. Wanted to scream. But she'd learned long ago that emotion was currency in Jin-woo's world, and she refused to pay. I have a life now, she said. A job. Friends. Things that don't involve blood on marble floors. Do you? He tilted his head. Or do you have a carefully constructed lie that makes you feel safe? Her pulse hammered against her ribs. Because from where I'm sitting, Jade, you're still running. He paused. Still hiding. The air between them grew dense. Suffocating. What do you want? The question scraped out of her. Jin-woo reached into his jacket pocket. For one terrifying second, she thought he'd pull out a gun. Instead, he placed a photograph on the table. Face down. Turn it over, he said quietly. No. Turn it over. Her hand moved against her will. Fingers brushing the glossy paper. Flipping it. The ultrasound image stared back at her. 2 tiny shapes. 2 heartbeats frozen in black and white. The room tilted. How the word died in her throat. Did you think I wouldn't know? Jin-woo's voice dropped to something dangerous. That I wouldn't have eyes everywhere you went? Every doctor's appointment. Every late night craving for strawberries you thought no one noticed. Jade's vision blurred. The twins. Her secret. The one thing she'd protected with every fiber of her being. They're not yours to claim, she choked out. Jin-woo stood, buttoning his jacket with methodical precision. That's where you're wrong. He leaned down, his breath warm against her ear. Those children? They're mine. And so are you. Her hands flew to her stomach, instinct, protection, desperation. Stay away from us. Us. He straightened. There is no us without me, Jade. There never was. He turned toward the door, then stopped. Oh, and one more thing. She couldn't breathe. Couldn't think. Jin-woo glanced back, his expression unreadable. I know about the plan. The new identity papers. The flight to Singapore tomorrow at 6 a.m. The world stopped spinning. So here's what's going to happen. His voice was velvet wrapped around a blade. "You're going to go home. You're going to pack. And you're going to come with me willingly. And if I don't?" His smile was cold enough to freeze blood. "Then I'll take the twins anyway. And you'll never see them again." The door chimed as he walked out, leaving Jade alone with the ultrasound photo and the horrifying realization that she'd never been free at all. Her phone buzzed. Unknown number. The message was simple. "The car will arrive at 8 p.m. Don't make this harder than it needs to be." Jade stared at the screen, her reflection ghostly in the black glass. She had 11 hours to decide, surrender to Jinwoo's world, or lose everything she'd been fighting to protect. But deep down, she already knew the choice had been made for her the moment she'd fallen in love with a man who didn't understand the meaning of letting go. Jade's apartment door wouldn't lock. She tried 3 times, hands shaking, before she realized someone had already been inside. The deadbolt hung loose. Scratches marred the brass where tools had forced entry. Her stomach dropped. She pushed the door open slowly. The hinges didn't creak. They'd been oiled. Everything looked normal. The gray couch she'd bought secondhand. The stack of books on the coffee table. The half-empty water glass she'd left that morning. But the air felt wrong. Disturbed. Jade moved through the living room, every nerve screaming at her to run. Her bedroom door stood ajar. She stepped inside. On her bed, laid out with surgical precision, a plane ticket to Busan. A black dress she'd never seen before. And a velvet box. Her fingers trembled as she opened it. A diamond necklace. The same one Jinwoo had given her 4 years ago, the night before everything fell apart. The note underneath was handwritten, "You left this behind. I kept it safe. Just like I'll keep them safe." Rage burned through her fear. He'd been in her home. Touched her things. Violated the one space she'd thought was hers. Her phone buzzed. "Jinwoo, do you like the dress?" She threw the phone across the room. It hit the wall and clattered to the floor, screen intact. Another buzz. "Jinwoo, you'll need it for dinner tonight. 7 p.m. The Peninsula. Don't be late." Jade grabbed the phone, fingers flying. "I'm not coming." 3 dots appeared. Disappeared. Appeared again. "Jinwoo, then I'll come to you. And we both know how that ends." Her breath hitched. He was right. If Jinwoo came here, if his men flooded this building, innocent people would get hurt. Her neighbor, the elderly woman who brought her soup when she was sick. The college student upstairs who always held the elevator. She couldn't let that happen. Jade stared at the dress. At the necklace. At the life Jinwoo was trying to drag her back into. "You're going to lose anyway," a voice whispered in her head. Why fight it? Because her children deserved better. She picked up the phone with steady hands. "Jade, fine. 7 p.m. But this doesn't mean I'm staying." The response was immediate, "We'll see." The Peninsula's restaurant glittered like a cage made of crystal and lies. Jade walked in wearing the black dress. It fit perfectly. Of course it did. Jinwoo sat at a private table in the back, a glass of whiskey untouched in front of him. He stood when he saw her. "You came. Did I have a choice?" "No." His honesty was brutal. "But I appreciate the illusion." She sat across from him, spine rigid. "What do you want from me?" "Everything." He signaled the waiter. "But tonight, I'll settle for answers." "I don't owe you." "How far along are you?" The question sliced through her defenses. 19 weeks, she whispered. Jinwoo's jaw tightened. "You've known for 4 months." "Yes." "And you weren't going to tell me." "It wasn't a question." "Would you have let me keep them?" Jade's voice cracked. "Or would they have become pawns in whatever war you're fighting?" Something flickered in his eyes. Pain. Anger. She couldn't tell. "You think I'd hurt my own children?" "I think you'd use them." She leaned forward. "Just like you used me." The waiter arrived with wine. Jinwoo waved him away. "I never used you, Jade. I loved you." Past tense. Notice that. His hand shot across the table, gripping her wrist. Not hard enough to hurt. Hard enough to trap. Love doesn't die just because you run from it. She tried to pull away. He held firm. Let go. Answer me first. His voice dropped. Why did you really leave? The memory hit her like a freight train. Blood on white marble. Gunshots echoing through the penthouse. Jean was standing over a body, guns still smoking, telling her it was necessary. Because I was afraid, she said quietly. Of what you'd become. Of what I was becoming beside you. Jean Woo released her wrist. And now? Now I'm terrified. Because you found me anyway. He reached into his jacket. She flinched. But he only pulled out a folder. Slid it across the table. Open it. Inside, surveillance photos. Dozens of them. Her at the grocery store. Walking to work. Sitting in the park, hand on her stomach. And one photo that made her blood freeze. Her best friend Mira. Sitting in a black sedan. Talking to a man Jade recognized from Jean Woo's organization. No, she breathed. She's been reporting to me for 6 months. Jean Woo's voice was flat. Every move you made. Every plan you formed. The Singapore flight? That was her idea. The betrayal hit harder than any physical blow. You're lying. Am I? He tapped another photo. Mira accepting an envelope. Cash visible inside. Jade's world splintered into 1,000 pieces. Why are you showing me this? Jean Woo leaned back. Because you need to understand something. In my world, everyone has a price. Everyone can be bought. Except you. Except me. His eyes locked on hers. And you. That's why I never let you go. A waiter approached, whispered something in Jean Woo's ear. His expression darkened. We need to leave. Now. What? He grabbed her hand, pulling her up. Someone knows you're here. Someone who wants to hurt me by taking what's mine. I'm not. The restaurant window exploded inward. Glass rained down like deadly snow. Screams erupted. Jean Woo threw himself over Jade, shielding her body with his. 3 men in masks stormed through the shattered window, guns raised. The leader pointed directly at her. Jade Kwan. You're coming with us. Jean Woo's hand moved to his concealed weapon. Over my dead body. The masked man smiled. That can be arranged. And then all hell broke loose. Jean Woo's gun cleared his holster in half a second. The first masked man dropped before Jade could scream. Stay down. Jean Woo shoved her behind the overturned table as bullets tore through the air where she'd been standing. Jade's ears rang. Her hands flew to her stomach, protective, desperate. The babies. She had to protect the babies. Jean Woo returned fire with mechanical precision. 2 shots. The second attacker crumpled. But the leader kept advancing, weapon trained on them. This doesn't concern you, Park. The masked man's voice was distorted, electronic. Give us the girl and walk away. Not happening. Then you die with her. Jean Woo's jaw clenched. You really think you're walking out of here? The leader laughed. Your men are delayed. Traffic accident on the bridge. So convenient. Jade's blood went cold. They'd planned this. Every detail. Jean Woo's finger tightened on the trigger, but hesitated. The leader had moved. Now Jade was in the crossfire. Smart, the masked man said. She matters to you. That's your weakness. My strength, Jean Woo corrected. He fired 3 times in rapid succession. Not at the leader, at the chandelier above him. Crystal exploded downward in a deadly cascade. The masked man dove sideways. Jean Woo grabbed Jade's hand and ran. They burst through the kitchen entrance. Chefs scattered. Pots clattered. The back exit, Jean Woo commanded, dragging her forward. Who are they? Jade gasped. Competitors. Rivals. Does it matter? It matters if they want me dead. They hit the alley. A black SUV screeched to a halt in front of them. The door flew open. A man in a suit gestured frantically. Boss, get in. Jean Woo practically threw Jade into the vehicle, climbing in after her. The SUV peeled out as gunfire sparked off the rear bumper. Jade's chest heaved. You said you'd keep me safe. I am keeping you safe. Jean Woo checked the magazine in his gun. You're alive, aren't you? Barely. His eyes snapped to hers. This is what my world looks like, Jade. This is what you ran from. And this, he gestured at the chaos outside, is what follows you no matter how far you go. She wanted to scream, to cry, to rage against the unfairness of it all. But he was right. She'd been deluding herself, thinking a new name and a quiet life could erase the target Jean who had painted on her back the moment she'd loved him. Where are we going? She asked quietly. Somewhere they can't reach you. Nowhere is safe. My family estate is. His tone left no room for argument. High walls. Armed guards. 24-hour surveillance. A prison. A sanctuary. He leaned forward to the driver. Take us to Gangnam. The main house. Jade's stomach twisted. The main house. Where Jean Woo's family lived. Where his father ruled the organization with an iron fist. No. I'm not going there. You don't have a choice. I always have a choice. Jean Woo grabbed her shoulders, forcing her to look at him. Listen to me. Those men knew exactly where we'd be. Exactly when. That means someone in my organization is compromised. Her breath caught. Who? I don't know yet. But until I find out, you're staying where I can see you. Where my father's men can protect you. Your father hates me. Something dark crossed Jean Woo's face. He doesn't know about the twins. Not yet. And when he finds out? Silence. Jean Woo released her, jaw working. We'll deal with that when we have to. The SUV turned onto a private road. Gates loomed ahead, 12 feet tall, topped with cameras. Jade's hands trembled. He'll want them. Your father. He'll want to control them, raise them in this world. I won't let that happen. You can't stop him. He's the head of the family. You follow his orders. Jean Woo's voice dropped to something dangerous. Not when it comes to you. Not when it comes to them. The gates swung open. A sprawling mansion materialized from the darkness. Traditional Korean architecture merged with modern security. Guards patrolled the perimeter. Cameras tracked their approach. The SUV stopped at the main entrance. An older man waited on the steps. Silver hair. Sharp suit. Eyes like frozen steel. Jean Woo's father. No, Jade whispered. Please, not yet. But Jean Woo was already opening the door. Stay close to me. They climbed out. His father's gaze swept over Jade with cold assessment. So, his voice could cut glass. This is the girl who made my son weak. Jean Woo stepped between them. Father, this is. I know who she is. He descended the steps slowly. The question is, why is she here? Jean Woo's hand found Jade's, squeezing once. A silent promise. Because she's carrying your grandchildren. The words hung in the air like a death sentence. His father's expression didn't change. Didn't flicker. But something shifted in his eyes. Something calculating. Grandchildren, he repeated softly. How fortunate. He turned to one of the guards. Take her to the east wing. Lock the door. No one goes in or out without my permission. Father. This is not a discussion. His father's voice was ice. She stays. Under my supervision. Until I decide what to do with her. Jade's heart hammered against her ribs. Guards moved toward her. Jean Woo's hand tightened on hers. Don't, she whispered. Don't fight him. Not yet. Jade. I'll be okay. A lie. They both knew it. The guards escorted her toward the mansion. She looked back once. Jean Woo stood frozen, torn between his father and the woman carrying his children. His father leaned close, voice low but carrying. She'll give us the heirs we need. And then we'll deal with her. Permanently. Jean Woo's face went white. And Jade realized with horrifying clarity she hadn't escaped Jean Woo's world. She'd walked straight into its heart. The door slammed behind her. A lock clicked. And somewhere in the mansion, a phone rang. The east wing smelled like jasmine and captivity. Jade pressed her ear against the locked door. Footsteps echoed down the hallway, guards changing shifts. She was alone. Her phone was gone. Taken the moment they'd locked her inside. No way to call for help. No way to reach anyone who might. A soft knock made her jump back. Miss Kwan. A woman's voice. Young. Hesitant. Jade approached the door carefully. Who are you? My name is Hannah. I'm assigned to bring you dinner. A key turned in the lock. The door opened to reveal a girl barely 20, carrying a tray. Behind her, a guard watched with dead eyes. Hannah stepped inside quickly. The door locked again. You shouldn't be here, Hannah whispered once the footsteps faded. Jade's pulse quickened. What? Master Park, the elder one, he's planning something. I heard him on the phone after you arrived. What did he say? Hannah set the tray down with trembling hands. That you're a liability. That the babies are valuable but you're not. That once they're born, he'll kill me. Jade finished the sentence. Hannah's silence was confirmation enough. Jade sank onto the bed. Does Jinwoo know? He's arguing with his father right now. It's bad. I've never heard them fight like this. Hope flickered. Maybe Jinwoo would. But it won't matter, Hannah continued. Master Park always wins. Always. The hope died. Jade looked at the girl. Really looked. Why are you telling me this? Hannah's eyes welled. Because I was in your position once. Different circumstances, but trapped. Master Park used me, then discarded me like I was nothing. Jinwoo was the only one who showed mercy. He helped you. He gave me this job. Safety. A second chance. Hannah wiped her eyes. I owe him everything. And if you matter to him, then I'll help you. Jade's throat tightened. How? There's a service entrance. Southwest corner. The cameras have a blind spot at 2 a.m. when they rotate. 15 seconds. That's all you'd have. And then what? The estate is surrounded by guards. There's a gap in the wall near the old garden. It hasn't been used in years, but Hannah pulled a folded paper from her pocket. Here. A map. Jade stared at it. Escape. Actual escape. If they catch me, they'll catch you eventually anyway. Hannah's voice was firm. But at least this way, you have a chance. Footsteps approached again. Hannah straightened, voice loud and formal. If you need anything else, ring the bell. The door unlocked. Hannah slipped out. Jade was alone again with the map and a decision that could cost her everything. At 1:47 a.m., Jade stood by the door. Her heart hammered so hard she thought the guards would hear it through the wood. She'd memorized the map. Burned it in the bathroom sink. Watched the ashes disappear down the drain. No evidence. The lock clicked at exactly 2 a.m. Hannah stood there, finger to her lips. They moved through the hallway like ghosts. Every shadow felt like an enemy. Every sound a death sentence. The service entrance loomed ahead. Hannah checked her watch. 30 seconds until rotation. Jade's hands found her stomach. I'm doing this for you. Both of you. 20 seconds. A door opened behind them. Both women froze. Jinwoo stood in the doorway, shirt unbuttoned, exhaustion carved into his face. His eyes met Jade's. She waited for him to shout. To call the guards. To stop her. Instead, he looked at Hannah. How long does she have? Hannah's jaw dropped. You knew. I know everything that happens in this house. He stepped closer. Answer me. 10 seconds, Hannah whispered. Jinwoo pulled something from his pocket. Car keys. There's a vehicle waiting past the wall. Black sedan. It'll take you to the airport. Jade couldn't breathe. Why are you helping me? His expression cracked. Just for a moment. Because I can't protect you here. Not from him. Come with me. I can't. If I leave, he'll send everyone after us. But if I stay, if I buy you time, he'll punish you. I don't care. Jinwoo pressed the keys into her palm. Go. Now. Jinwoo. I love you. The words tore out of him. I've loved you since the moment you walked into my life. And that's why you have to leave. Tears blurred her vision. I can't just. 3 seconds, Hannah urged. Jinwoo kissed her. Hard. Desperate. Final. Then he shoved her toward the door. Run. She ran. Through the entrance. Across the grounds. every second expecting bullets. The gap in the wall appeared. She squeezed through, dress tearing on stone. The sedan waited exactly where he'd said. She threw herself inside. The driver didn't speak, just accelerated into the night. Jade looked back once. The mansion blazed with lights. Alarms screamed. They knew. Her phone, a new one, left on the passenger seat, buzzed. Unknown number. She answered with shaking hands. Hello, Jade. Not Jin-woo's voice. His father's. Did you really think my son could defy me? Her blood turned to ice. That car you're in? I sent it. That driver? Mine. That escape? I allowed it. No. You're not running away, dear. You're running exactly where I want you. The driver's eyes met hers in the rearview mirror. And smiled. Welcome to the real game, Master Park said softly. Let's see how long you survive. The line went dead. The car turned off the highway onto a dark, unmarked road. And Jade realized Jin-woo's sacrifice had been for nothing. The car stopped at an abandoned warehouse on the waterfront. Jade's hands gripped the door handle, but it wouldn't budge. Child lock. The driver stepped out, opened her door with mechanical efficiency. This way. Where are we? He didn't answer. Just gestured with his gun. She had no choice but to follow. Inside, the warehouse reeked of salt water and rust. A single light hung from the ceiling, swaying slightly. Master Park stood beneath it, hands clasped behind his back. Sit. He pointed to a metal chair in the center of the room. Jade remained standing. What do you want? I want you to understand your position. He circled her slowly. My son believes love makes him strong. I'm here to show him, and you, that it only makes him vulnerable. He sacrificed everything for me. Precisely. Master Park's smile was cold. And that weakness will destroy him unless I remove the source. Jade's hand moved to her stomach. You can't. I can do whatever I want. He stopped in front of her. But I'm not a monster. I'm offering you a choice. Her pulse hammered. What choice? Option 1. You disappear. Permanently. I arrange a quiet death, make it look like an accident. Jin-woo grieves, hardens, becomes the leader I need. The twins are raised in my household, taught properly. Ball rose in her throat. And option 2? You marry him. Publicly. Bind yourself to this family officially. His eyes glittered. But you follow my rules. You speak when spoken to. You raise those children exactly as I instruct. And you never, he leaned close, never give my son reason to choose you over duty again. That's not a choice. That's a cage. All marriages are cages, dear. The question is whether you prefer gilded bars or a grave. Footsteps thundered outside. The warehouse door crashed open. Jin-woo stormed in, gun drawn, 3 men flanking him. Blood stained his collar. Get away from her. His voice was lethal. Master Park didn't flinch. Did you kill my guards to get here? I did what was necessary. You've chosen her over family. Over everything I built. You built this on blood and fear. Jin-woo's aim never wavered. I'm done being part of it. Master Park laughed, a sound like breaking glass. You think you can just walk away? You're my son. My heir. That's not something you resign from. Watch me. The air crackled with violence, waiting to erupt. Jade stepped between them. Stop. Both of you. Jade, move. Jin-woo started. No. She turned to Master Park. You want to know what makes Jin-woo weak? It's not love. It's you. Your control. Your manipulation. You've spent his entire life making him believe he has no choice but to obey. Master Park's expression darkened. Careful, girl. Or what? You'll kill me? You already planned to. She stood straighter. But here's what you didn't count on. Jin-woo isn't weak. He's strong enough to defy you. Strong enough to choose something better than your empire of violence. There is nothing better than power. There's freedom. She looked at Jin-woo. And I'm choosing mine. Right now. Jin-woo's eyes widened. What are you? I'm not marrying into this family. I'm not raising my children in this world. Her voice steadied. And I'm not letting either of you decide my fate anymore. She turned toward the door. Master Park's voice cut through the silence. You walk out that door, you'll never see those children again. I'll hunt you across every border, every continent. And when I find you, then I'll keep running. She didn't look back. Because that's still better than staying here. Jean Woo's voice cracked. She stopped. Come with me. Right now. Walk away from all of this. I can't just. Yes, you can. That's the choice, Jean Woo. Me and freedom. Or him and chains. Master Park's gun appeared, aimed at her back. She doesn't leave this building alive. Jean Woo's weapon snapped toward his father. You'll have to go through me. Father and son. Guns pointed at each other. A standoff that could only end in blood. Jade's heart shattered. Jean Woo, please. I need you to trust me, he said quietly. One more time. Can you do that? She wanted to scream. To rage. To demand he choose her now, in this moment. But she saw something in his eyes. A plan. A gamble. Okay, she whispered. Jean Woo lowered his weapon. Master Park smiled in triumph. Smart boy. Then Jean Woo turned the gun on himself. Pressed it to his own temple. You want an heir so badly? His finger touched the trigger. Then you better let her go. Because if she dies, I die. And your precious legacy dies with me. Master Park went white. You're bluffing. Am I? You know I've never feared death. Jean Woo's hand was rock steady. The question is, do you fear losing everything you've built? The warehouse fell silent except for the sound of water lapping against the dock. Master Park's jaw worked. Calculating. Measuring. Finally, he lowered his weapon. Go. The word was poison. Both of you. But understand, this isn't over. You've made an enemy of your own blood. I made that choice the day I fell in love with her, Jean Woo said. He grabbed Jade's hand. They ran. Out of the warehouse. Into the night. A motorcycle waited Jean Woo's backup plan. They rode until the city lights blurred into distant stars. Only when they stopped at a safe house did Jade let herself breathe. We can't run forever, she said. I know. Jean Woo cupped her face. But we can run long enough to figure out how to win. How do we beat him? We don't beat him. His thumb brushed her cheek. We outlast him. Together. She wanted to believe it. Wanted to believe love could conquer the empire hunting them. But her phone, the one Master Park had provided, buzzed in her pocket. A message. A photo. Hannah. Bound. Gagged. Terror in her eyes. The text beneath, you have 48 hours to return. Or she pays for your freedom. Jade's blood ran cold. He took Hannah. Jean Woo's face went dark. That bastard. She helped me because of you. Because she owed you. Jade's voice broke. And now she's going to die unless you trade yourself for her. They stared at each other. The impossible choice spreading between them like spilled blood. Save themselves. Or save the innocent girl who'd risked everything. And somewhere in the darkness, Master Park was already counting down the hours. Jean Woo smashed the phone against the wall. Don't. His chest heaved. Don't even think about going back. Jade stared at the shattered pieces. She's going to die because of me. She's going to die because my father is a psychopath who uses people as weapons. He grabbed her shoulders. This is what he does. He finds your weakness and exploits it. Then he's already won. Not if we're smart. Jean Woo paced the safe house, mind working. He expects you to break. To come running back to save her. Because that's exactly what I should do. It's what he wants you to do. He stopped. Which means it's a trap. The moment you walk back into that estate, you're dead. Hannah's dead. And he keeps the twins. Jade sank onto the couch, hands trembling. So we just let her die? No. We get her out. His eyes hardened. But on our terms. A knock at the door made them both freeze. Jean Woo's gun was up instantly. Who knows about this place? Only people I trust. Your trust got us here. Jade moved behind him. Another knock. It's me. Mira. Jade's blood turned to ice. Don't open it. But Jinwoo was already unlocking the door. Mira stood there, mascara smeared, clutching a duffel bag. Thank God. I've been trying to reach you for hours. Why? Jade's voice was flat. So you can report back to Master Park? Tell him exactly where we are. Myra's face crumpled. You know, I've known since the restaurant. Jinwoo showed me the photos. The money. Everything. Jade, please, let me explain. Explain how you sold me out for 6 months? Jade stepped forward. How you helped plan my escape to Singapore, knowing it was all a setup. How my best friend became my enemy. Tears streamed down Myra's face. I didn't have a choice. Everyone has a choice. Not when they have your sister. The words exploded out of her. Master Park took Elena. Said if I didn't cooperate, he'd kill her. What was I supposed to do? The air left Jade's lungs. Elena's alive? Barely. They're holding her in the same compound as Hannah. Myra's hands shook. I came here to help. I have the security codes. The guard rotations. Everything we need to get them both out. Jinwoo's gun stayed level. Why should we believe you? Because I'm done being his puppet. Mira met his gaze. And because Jade's the only real friend I've ever had. I betrayed her. I know. But let me make it right. Jade looked at Jinwoo. Can we trust her? Trust? He laughed bitterly. I don't trust anyone anymore. But we need those codes. Mira opened the duffel bag. Inside, blueprints of the estate, security schedules, and 2 vials of clear liquid. What's that? Jade asked. Sedative. Fast acting. 60 seconds, and they're out for 4 hours. Myra's voice steadied. There's a shift change at dawn. 3 minutes when the East Wing is unmonitored. That's our window. Jinwoo studied the blueprints. The holding cells are underground. Below the main house. I didn't know there were cells. My father has many secrets. His jaw clenched. That's where he keeps people he wants to break slowly. Jade's stomach turned. How do we get down there? Service elevator. Requires a fingerprint scan. Mira pulled out a small device. I lifted Master Park's print from his whiskey glass. This should work. Should. Jinwoo raised an eyebrow. It's our only shot. Silence settled over them. 3 people. 1 plan. 0 margin for error. If this goes wrong, Jade started. It won't, Jinwoo interrupted. Because failure means everyone dies. Including our children. Myra's eyes widened. Children? Plural. Twins. Jade's hand found her stomach. And they're the real reason Master Park wants me alive. Heirs to continue his empire. Then we make sure he never gets them. Mira zipped the bag. We move at 5 a.m. 2 hours from now. Jinwoo nodded. I'll get the weapons. He disappeared into the back room. Jade and Mira stood in loaded silence. I'm sorry, Mira whispered. For everything. Sorry doesn't bring back the last 6 months of fear. I know. But maybe saving Elena and Hannah can start too. Jade wanted to hate her. Wanted to scream and rage and push her away. But she was so tired of running alone. 1 chance, Jade said quietly. That's all you get. You betray us again. I won't. I swear on Elena's life. Jinwoo returned with a duffel of his own. Guns. Ammunition. Kevlar vests. We go in quiet. Extract them fast. No heroics. His eyes locked on Jade. You stay in the car. Absolutely not. You're pregnant. Which is exactly why I need to be there. If something goes wrong, if you're captured, I'm the only leverage that works. She held his gaze. We do this together or not at all. He looked like he wanted to argue. But he knew she was right. Together, he agreed. They loaded the car in silence. Drove through pre-dawn darkness toward the estate. Toward the compound where innocent people suffered because of Jade's choices. As they approached the gates, Myra's phone buzzed. She went pale. What? Jinwoo demanded. Mira turned the screen toward them. A video. Hannah and Elena. Bound side by side. Master Park's voice, I know you're coming. I've known since Mira left my office 6 hours ago. Jade's heart stopped. Did you really think I'd let my most valuable informant just walk away? His laugh was cruel. Every word you've said. Every plan you've made. I've heard it all. The video zoomed in on Myra's duffel bag. The same one sitting in their back seat. Check the lining, Master Park instructed. Jin Woo ripped the bag open. Tore through the fabric. A small black device fell out. Tracking beacon. Live microphone. Oh, and one more thing, Master Park continued. The security codes Mira gave you? They trigger an alarm the moment you use them. The estate gates swung open ahead of them. Dozens of armed guards poured out. They were surrounded. Master Park's final words echoed through the phone. Welcome home, son. Let's finish this. The guards raised their weapons. And Jade realized they'd walked straight into a trap there was no escape from. Hands where I can see them. The guard captain's voice cut through the dawn. Step out of the vehicle. Slowly. Jin Woo's hand moved toward his concealed weapon. Jade grabbed his wrist. Don't. There are too many. 20 guards. Maybe more. All armed. All trained. They stepped out with raised hands. Master Park emerged from the estate, bathrobe immaculate despite the early hour. I must admit, I'm disappointed. I expected more creativity from you, Jin Woo. Let them go. Jin Woo's voice was steel. Jade. Mira. This is between us. Everything is between us now. Master Park gestured. Guards seized them roughly. You made it personal when you chose her over blood. They were dragged through the gates. Down marble corridors. Into the underground level Jin Woo had mentioned. The cells were worse than Jade imagined. Hannah sat in one, bruised and shaking. Elena in another, unconscious. Mira. Elena's name tore from Myra's throat. Touching reunion. Master Park nodded to the guards. Separate cells. The pregnant one gets special accommodation. Jade was shoved into a cell across from Jin Woo. Steel bars between them. Always between them. Master Park stood in the center, surveying his captives like a king reviewing prisoners. Here's how this ends, he announced. Jade, you will agree to my terms. Marriage to Jin Woo under my conditions. Complete obedience. Your children raised as weapons for this family. Never, Jade spat. Then I kill Hannah first. He pulled out his gun. Aimed at the girl's cell. Then Elena. Then Mira. And I make Jin Woo watch every single death before I put a bullet in his skull too. Father, Jin Woo's voice cracked. Or, Master Park turned to Jade. You agree. Sign the papers. And everyone lives. Controlled. Monitored. But alive. Jade's hands trembled against the bars. You're insane. I'm practical. He checked his watch. You have 60 seconds to decide. Choose freedom and watch them die. Choose survival and lose yourself. The countdown began in her head. Hannah sobbed quietly. Elena remained unconscious. Mira pressed against her cell bars, eyes pleading. And Jin Woo, staring at Jade with an expression that broke her heart. Don't, he mouthed. Don't do it. 40 seconds. Every choice she'd made had led here. Every attempt at freedom had tightened the chains. 30 seconds. She thought of her twins. Growing inside her. Innocent. Deserving better than this legacy of violence. 20 seconds. Jade's voice failed. Master Park's finger moved to the trigger. Wait. The shout came from behind him. A guard stumbled forward, phone extended. Sir, there's been a breach. The north perimeter, someone's attacking the compound. Master Park's eyes narrowed. What? Explosions rocked the underground level. Dust rained from the ceiling. Alarm klaxons screamed. How many? Master Park demanded. We don't know, sir. They took out the camera system. Thermal shows at least 30, no, 40 hostiles. Military-grade weapons. They're coming in fast. Master Park's composure cracked. Lock down everything. Get reinforcements. Another explosion. Closer. The lights flickered. Jin Woo's eyes met Jade's through the bars. Did you plan this? No. Did you? They both turned to Mira. She smiled through her tears. Not me. But I made one phone call before Master Park found the tracker. To someone who owed Jade a favor. Who? Jade breathed. The underground door exploded inward. Smoke filled the corridor. Gunfire erupted above. Through the chaos, a figure appeared. Tactical gear. Face obscured by a mask. They removed it. Jade's world tilted. Hello, little sister. Her brother. Dead for 3 years. Standing in front of her. Very much alive. Kai. Her voice was barely a whisper. Surprise. He raised his weapon toward Master Park. You picked the wrong family to destroy. Master Park's gun swung toward him. You're supposed to be dead. Yeah. You made sure everyone thought that, didn't you? Kai's voice was ice. Faked my death. Forced Jade into hiding. Manipulated my entire family. You have no proof. I have 3 years of evidence. Every crime. Every murder. Every bribe. Kai pulled out a flash drive. And copies already sent to law enforcement, media, your competitors. By morning, your empire is finished. Master Park's face went white. Now open these cells before my team levels this entire compound. More explosions. The building shook. Master Park looked at his guard captain. At the chaos above. At the brother who'd returned from the dead. He had no choice. Keys turned. Cell doors opened. Jinwoo rushed to Jade, pulling her close. Are you hurt? I'm fine. I'm Kai, how are you alive? Her brother's expression darkened. That's a story for later. Right now, we move. His team flooded in. Extracting Hannah. Elena. Securing Mira. But Master Park wasn't done. You think you've won? He laughed wild, unhinged. You think destroying my empire means you're free? He pressed something in his pocket. Every screen in the compound lit up simultaneously. Security footage. From every angle. Showing Jinwoo killing rivals. Ordering hits. Building the empire alongside his father. The world thinks you're the hero, son. Master Park's smile was vicious. But they're about to learn the truth. Every crime I committed? You were there. Every order I gave? You enforced. Jinwoo went rigid. That footage goes live in 10 minutes. To every news outlet. Every police department. Master Park backed toward a hidden exit. You can destroy me. But I'm taking you down with me. And Jade? She'll raise those children knowing their father is a monster. He disappeared through the exit. Steel doors slammed shut. Kai moved to pursue. We can still stop. Let him go, Jinwoo said quietly. What? He'll ruin you. He's right. Jinwoo turned to Jade, eyes hollow. Everything he said is true. I'm not the man you thought I was. I've killed. Ordered deaths. Built my wealth on suffering. Jade's breath caught. The question is, his voice broke, can you still love me knowing what I've done? Above them, sirens wailed. Police. Federal agents. The footage would go live any moment. Kai's radio crackled. Sir, we need to move. Now. Multiple agencies converging on this location. Jade, Jinwoo whispered. Run. Take the twins and disappear. I'll face this alone. No. You have seconds to choose. Freedom or me. You can't have both. Red and blue lights flashed through the compound windows. Kai grabbed her arm. Jade, we have to go. Right now. She looked at Jinwoo. At the man she loved. The father of her children. The killer he'd always been underneath. Come with me, she pleaded. I can't run from this. Not anymore. He stepped back. But you can. Please. Footsteps thundered above. Federal agents breaching the upper levels. Jade. Kai yanked her toward the exit. She stumbled forward, heart shattering with every step. Jinwoo didn't follow. At the tunnel exit, she looked back one final time. He stood alone in the underground cell, waiting for the arrest he knew was coming. Their eyes met across the distance. I love you, he mouthed. Then the federal agents swarmed in. Kai pulled her into the escape vehicle. They sped away as dawn broke over the compound. Jade's phone, a new one Kai had provided, buzzed. A message. From Jin Woo's lawyer. She opened it with shaking hands. It was a legal document. Custody papers. Full parental rights to Jade Kwan. Jin Woo Park relinquishes all claims to the children. Signed and notarized 3 days ago. He'd known. Even before the final confrontation. He'd already chosen to let her go. Where to? Kai asked gently. Jade looked at the sunrise. At the city disappearing behind them. At the future spreading out, terrifying and free. I don't know, she whispered. Her phone rang. Unknown number. She answered. You can't leave. Not now, not ever. The voice wasn't Master Park's. It was a woman's. Unfamiliar. Cold. Who is this? Jin Woo's mother. And we need to talk about my grandchildren. The line went dead. And Jade realized the nightmare wasn't over. It was just beginning. Thank you for staying until the end. Seoul and Melanin Love has countless stories like this. Hit subscribe, because with your help, we keep creating these life-changing journeys.